Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Thursday, August 21st, 2025. A man was arrested at Walmart on suspicion of elderly abuse after allegedly threatening his neighbor, destroying her home, and stealing her gas. On Sunday at 9:45 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a disturbance in the 61,000 block of Leslie Lane in Landers. A 69-year-old woman suffering from medical issues told deputies that a man living in a trailer on their shared property began verbally abusing her over the last few weeks. Deputies identified the suspect as Bernard McFadden, 41, and say he escalated the abuse by entering the victim's trailer, smashing windows, and destroying its door and air conditioning. Deputies say McFadden also siphoned gas out of the victim's car to prevent her from leaving the property. Deputies were unable to locate McFadden, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. On Monday at around 6:15 p.m., deputies say they located McFadden at the Walmart in Yucca Valley. He was taken into custody without incident. Bernard McFadden was arrested on suspicion of causing injury to an elder adult and making criminal threats. He is being held at the West Valley Detention Center on $80,000 bail. Last night, the Morongo Valley Community Services District Board of Directors held their regular monthly meeting. Reporter Gabriel Hart was in attendance and joins us with this recap.
The board discussed lifting the district's 8-month spending freeze informally instated last March. And while they reported, quote, enormous progress being $53,000 under budget in what Finance Director Johnny Tolbert calculated as a 67% savings of where they were in March, the board cited their mindful collective oversight and ultimately decided to keep their informal freeze in place. This would continue the district's practice of a $2,500 spending limit with a $10,000 limit for emergencies unless otherwise decided at a public meeting. After a tree recently fell in Covington Park just 48 hours after a public event, the board took action to get quotes from 3 different arborists to service problem sites in the park, approving West Coast arborists with a quote for $6,900. After a stray dog was recently found abandoned and tied to a rope in front of the fire department one morning, the board approved a $360 purchase of a Ring camera system for added security. And with the ongoing mural project for Covington Park, community member Rosa Fisher has volunteered to paint the front of the building and presented the board with mock-ups, featuring a barn aesthetic accompanied with owls, deers, bobcats, and other animals native to the area, and Rosa's design was approved by the board. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Gabriel Hart.
State Senator Rosalicia Ochoa Bogue has canceled a town hall meeting she had scheduled for 29 Palms tonight. Initially set to be held at Freedom Plaza, the state senator's office canceled the meeting late Wednesday, saying that the senator's Sacramento voting schedule ran longer than anticipated, conflicting with the scheduled town hall. The state senator said she looks forward to rescheduling. Earlier this month, Morongo Unified School District Assistant Superintendents for Secondary and Elementary Education, Amy Woods and Dr. Graciela Gutierrez, were the guests on the Z107.7 Up Close show. Host Gary Daigneault asked about the district's reclassification of 6th graders, moving them from elementary school to junior high school in 29 Palms. Woods said,
I took her 6th graders on the east end of the district, which is the 29 end. We are taking the 6th grade students, or the rising 6th grade students, the ones who would be 6th grade this year, from Oasis Elementary, 29 Elementary, Condor Elementary, and Palm Vista Elementary. And they will be inside the California middle school model, which is a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade model. So the 29 Palms Junior High School staff will have those students now for 3 years instead of 2 years. The 6th graders will be cored, which means that they will have 2 teachers. So in the elementary school, you would have 1 teacher, right? Now they will have 2 teachers. One will teach them English and social studies, and one will teach them math and science. And then they have an opportunity to pick an elective. So they could pick music or cadets or the rotating elective that we have, which is called the wheel, where they'll do a quarter of creative writing, a quarter of college and career exploration, a quarter of computer exploration, and a quarter of art. And then they are integrated together with the 7th graders during lunch and during physical education, which now they have every day. And so it is trying to transition them more efficiently and effectively into a secondary model. So they go from 1 teacher to 2 or 3 teachers. 7th grade, they have 6 teachers. And now we're able to bring the 6th graders in, truly diagnose where they're at with secondary curriculum. And then we have 7th grade to either get them up to speed or accelerate them. And then in 8th grade, we have the ability to make them leaders. So when they move onto the campus as a 9th grader, they're being promoted to 9th grade, not placed into the 9th grade.
If this works with 29 Palms Junior High School, are we looking at La Cantona doing the same thing?
I am not prepared to answer that question at this time. Yeah.
We'll see how it works.
We have to see how it works.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
There's a lot of moving pieces, Gary, and
Yeah.
La Contenta is far larger than 29 Junior. So 29 Junior was the opportune place to pilot this.
You can hear their full conversation by listening to the Z107.7 Up Close show on our website, Z107.7FM.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. The town of Yucca Valley is planning their fall season of activities and events. The new Aquatics and Recreation Center is halfway built and will soon be in service. On tomorrow's Z107.7 Up Close show, Recreation Supervisor Clayton Rardin will talk with host Gary Daigneault about what is being planned and offered by the town of Yucca Valley. The Z107.7 Up Close show airs live tomorrow at 10 a.m. It will be available as a podcast later on in the day. For 50 years, the Gubler family has shown the spirit of giving back to Yucca Valley and the greater Morongo Basin area. They were celebrated at this week's Yucca Valley Town Council meeting. Online news editor Robert Hayden was there and joins us with more.
Tuesday evening's Yucca Valley Town Council meeting had a levity to it that was helped out by the very first thing on the agenda. The Yucca Valley Spirit Award presented to Chris and Debbie Gubler. Mayor Jeff Droz began with a short speech.
Chris and Debbie Gubler, I've known them for so many years. Chris Gubler, he contributes to the Landers community, and he has since the 1980s by helping establish key local infrastructure such as a new post office, elementary school, while also organizing community events, including the first Landers fireworks show. Chris began serving the Morongo Basin through the Morongo Basin Orchid Festival from the start.
Chris Gubler and the Orchid Festival have been a part of the Sunset Rotary for 25 years. And in 2024, the Orchid Festival raised $40,000 for the Morongo Basin nonprofits. Here's Chris talking to Gary Daigneault on the Up Close show from September 27th of last year. And Gary had just asked Chris what his favorite part of the Orchid Festival had been over the last 28 years.
Giving out the money.
That's
Giving
always
out
a
to
good
the
part.
nonprofit. I mean, it's what our family does is we give a big check to Yucca Valley Sunset Rotary and for the distribution.
And they allocate it out to the nonprofits.
Yeah, and we have a guideline of how it should be allocated.
Along with the Orchid Festival, the couple are responsible for the dessert soiree, which once again raises money for nonprofits like Morongo Basin Ambulance, Reach Out Morongo Basin, and Unity Home. The mayor says the couple doesn't keep track of their philanthropy, but a rough estimate is revealed in Bob Barker-like fashion by the mayor.
What do you think, 1 figure, 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures to Morongo Basin charities? And that's a lot.
After a brief photo op with the mayor, Chris Gubler took to the microphone.
Well, first of all, it's truly an honor to be recognized for our efforts in helping so many. We believe that this spirit comes from the heart and that the spirit knows no boundaries. It's part of our nature, something that we're fortunate enough to embody. Our heart lies in the Morongo Basin. Our family could not have achieved this alone. We needed help from many talented and other spirited people working on a common cause called humanity. We'd like to take this moment to recognize them all by saying, thank you.
With that, he unfurled a vertical banner that said thanks in big block letters to the delight of the packed crowd. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
And finally, the 29 Palms High School girls varsity tennis team hosted the Knights of Shadow Hills yesterday. The Wildcats lost a tough one, 5-7. In singles action, Aviana Lipkins won one set. In doubles action, the team of Amara Banerjee and Sophia Contreras swept both of their sets. The Lady Cats host Big Bear on Tuesday. Come support your Lady Cats. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.